Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I think I pressed the right buttons this time. Okay, I can hear myself, so.
There we go, I see you live.
Hi, Carlos, Elvenberry. We have Patty Pop, Mikolas, Jadester, Ayu, Sir Lucason, Lucicon, and Philip. Hey, everybody. Oh, man. Today I have LadyInsanity, also Ash, and she's going to be joining to talk about, well, the mess that is EA right now. Also,
Hello.
also the bioware or the Mass Effect show leaks, and then maybe like some N7 stuff and all that stuff. So it's going to be an interesting day. Hello to Ukraine, Charlie. First, has everybody seen the news from today? The one
That's
that
probably a good
everybody's
start.
Yeah, the one that everybody's really excited about.
Super excited. Can't wait.
Oh my gosh. So, for those who are not familiar with what is happening, EA was just purchased by the Saudi Arabia Personal Investment Fund, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. And it's not looking good. I mean, I think that everybody is maybe being a little bit doomer, because I know that, like, I'm in my mind, this is going to be like the worst case scenario, because that's what you do when you get bad information. You make it even worse. And it could end up really bad. I mean, like, aside from the contents of what games could have, I mean, this could, with this $55 billion deal, 20 billion of that is going to be on EA's shoulders. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money for them to try and gain back. I mean, they're going to be in the negative for a very, very long time.
Yeah, for me, it's even funnier. No, because for me, it seems like we've just been heading towards this trajectory for such a long time. And especially if you've been watching, the buybacks have been happening for the better part of a decade. And it's been so quiet for a while until it's like, oh, we're here now. This is happening. And of course, it's the most egregious freaking consortium you could think of who's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These could not be worse investors. Like,
Vulture capitalists, let's go.
it's actually shocking when I read the news of who was purchasing it. Just some clarification for those who aren't familiar, Affinity Partners is owned by Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump's husband. Silver Lake is one of the companies that just purchased TikTok. And then the Saudi Arabia is the Saudi Arabia government. That's their investment fund. And they are doing this thing, Saudi Vision 2030, which is basically they're investing in a bunch of stuff internationally. And that's what this is. But this is, like, I think from what I read, this is their largest investment. Like, they own 8% of Nintendo. They pretty much own majority of esports now.
For a while now, to be honest.
Yeah. And I was really big into Overwatch esports. But I have stopped watching. Just with everything that kind of happened, it was a damper. And a bunch of players, like, people are leaving and can't go to tournaments because of where they're being held, because of their safety. It's crazy. What the fuck is going on?
Right? And it's one of those things where if you've been watching the esports side and also just in general the creator side, this has been going on for a while now. A lot of the biggest I don't even know how to say this, like in as far as like legally, but basically all of these funds have been kind of kind of taking turns at esports in general, because esports is a very entertainment based kind of thing now. It's become more of a spectacle rather than, oh, this is for the competition's sake or whatever. So these funds have been like, oh, okay, maybe we can turn this into something spectator sportsy. We can turn this into, franchising and something akin to what you would see at F1, right? But it's gotten worse as time goes on, because you have private equity sapping these different talent agencies, these different content creators. Like, some of them have their teeth on some of the biggest YouTubers that you know. And it's now just being way more public these days. And I would argue that it's only been the last couple of years that has been really ramping up because of certain administration within the power that be. And it's really telling how a lot of YouTubers are being bought up by this, that we are in trouble going forward. And I hate to be doomery, but gotta be a little bit doomery considering how public this is, how on main this is essentially.
Yeah, no, I think it's, and I also think we're kind of getting to the point where, like, I think the idea that those things were happening, that like people are being paid to push narratives and people are being controlled by outside influences, like, we knew that, but we're getting more confirmation of those things, and it's like not even secret anymore, which just means that it's so much easier for them to do. Yeah, I think it just really sucks. And, you know, yes, I'm being an absolute doomer about this because this does have a very bad worst case scenario. You know, I think that people are kind of missing the other side of this, that there's all these employees at EA who have been dealing with EA layoffs for years. I mean, even just bioware alone in the last 2 years has had 3.5 kind of rounds of layoffs. And I know that that's obviously bioware specific, but it doesn't really matter these days. You make a good game, your studio gets shut down, you get fired. You make a bad game, same thing. And Jason Schreier said over on his Blue Sky that that essentially buyouts like this and investments like this and major debts of $20 billion often result in mass layoffs, because they're trying to save money, they're trying to cut corners, they're trying to increase profits. So with that, you see increased monetization, which EA is already very bad about, and then mass layoffs, which EA, again, has no problem doing, is already very bad about. And I think that's kind of the scary part, is like all of these people who will inevitably be affected by this in the long term. That, I think, is, I feel really bad for the EA employees, kind of just like watching these things. And, you know, I thought at first that, like, am I panicking? Am I being a doomer? Am I being a drama queen? But then I saw how the Sims community was also feeling kind of the exact same way. And I guess some of the Sims employees have come out and basically said, like, we feel like this is a slap in our face, you know, like, especially for women and queer devs and, like, these people that EA claims to want to protect. I don't know. I'm just...
No, you're right. It's definitely something that needs to be talked about, because, and those layoffs are going to continue, and it's going to get worse as they're selling off the portfolio in order to at least handle some part of that debt. And congrats to Andrew Wilson, because he's probably going to get a golden parachute once he leaves.
Oh my God, yeah. He's going to be totally fine.
Once he gets a deal, it's going to be his, you know, it's going to be his greatest achievement, and then he's going to be able to leave and wash his hands of the whole thing. Yeah, but it's also like, when we look at it, EA has a long portfolio. They have several games that they've just kind of held on to over the years. So they're going to get rid of that, right? See what's able to be sold and all that, because the sports games are going to be fine. They know that they can monetize off that. But when it comes to Sims, like you say, it was a I don't want to say golden child, but it was put up as a shining beacon for a lot of the LGBT, well, I'm mincing my words, community and just in general. And now it's like, well, with who's behind this current deal, there's no guarantee, and this has already happened in the creator space. I'm just going to say it straight up. This has already happened in the creator space where there is a controlling of narratives. And it has been going on for a very long time, and a lot of people don't realize YouTubers have been subject to this for a while. But if Sims, of all games, is poised in this way where what they are doing is being controlled, where they have to change their identity and who they are, then that's shit, man. Sorry. Oh, actually, sorry. Is it okay to swear on here? I didn't even realize.
I don't even care if I get demonetized. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
No. Sorry. No, I'm just like, oh wait, hold on. But yeah, it's absolutely bad for a lot of things, and it's just EA at least had that going for them for several years, and they were proud of it. Andrew Wilson was proud of it, and it's like it was a safe space not only for the gamers who were playing these games, but also for the staff who were working at EA, at any of their corporate offices, or any of the developers that were under it and subsidiaries. It's for it to happen like this now is just, oh, I don't want to say the end times, but it's definitely like we are going to see significant changes going forward that I don't think we'll ever recover from.
That's how I feel too. I think people that like, I understand there's a sentiment that like, yeah, they're not going to change anything because they like money. Well, the reality of that is like a lot of EA is probably not making enough money for them to like, I mean, obviously for them to invest, but at the same time, it's no secret that EA has been struggling for a long time. I mean, basically everybody except Andrew Wilson. So do I see them messing with the IPs? Yeah, I do, especially in this current day and age. And I think that uncertainty of what things are going to look like, especially with like the rise in censorship, is a really scary thing, especially for BioWare fans who know these series to be like, you know, they're not perfect, but they're inclusive. They have representation, and they've been at the forefront of that since the games were created. And it is scary that could change. It is scary not knowing, and people are only looking at this at it being Mass Effect 5 that will be affected, but Mass Effect is like being marketed as this like larger franchise that they want to keep continuing. Yes, I mean, of course that depends on if Mass Effect 5 will do well, and also the show, I'm assuming too, but like this is more than just like one game. It's, the future of media, essentially. Also, Spawn Freak, thank you for the $10. That is so nice of you. And Spawn Freak says, hey Kayla, I was going to say that I agree ME5 should be more like ME1, the best of the trilogy, but after today's news, I have little hope. I guess Exodus is our future. RIP Mass Effect 3 multiplayer servers.
Let's go, Exodus.
I know. I'm honestly like, yes, Exodus is owned by Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Like, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Like, that's just how it works. Like, these mega corporations, we know that so many of them are corrupt. But yeah, I am really looking forward to Exodus. I think that not only does Mass Effect need competition, but I think fans also need something besides just Mass Effect.
For sure. It's one of those things where, yeah, like we can't expect too much out of like the general state of things, but we can at least ask for the best case scenario for a lot of them. And that the issue also is that because of the economy, I hate to go like politics, but honestly, video games is politics. Politics always affects video games, so that's the way it is. It's really frustrating because we have to consider the level of okay, the investors are getting involved in every single video game pie, and like who we have to support, who we can't. And it's just a constant having to jump around because, okay, we supported EA even though EA bad, evil, EA evil. Like, yeah, we know, but they were doing at least their due diligence. They were trying to support underrepresented communities. But now it's like, will they do that? And with Exodus, I'm cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, like you said, hell, it's Hasbro. Um, and they haven't been exactly forthcoming with a lot of certain things as of the past few years, but that's a whole different conversation.
No, I totally agree. And I think that's what sucks. Like, you know, I I ignorantly miss the days where I just bought a game and I didn't know shit about the developers, about the studio. I didn't have to like worry if the game was going to sell well so we could get a sequel. Like, I miss being ignorant to all of these things. Like, I miss gaming back when I was younger and I had no fucking idea what I was buying or anything about the making of it. Because yeah, now I am, you know, I am conscious about what I'm purchasing, and you know, like, and that's like, it sucks to have to feel like we have to do that. I mean, I know why we are, but yeah, it sucks because now I look at Mass Effect 5 and I'm like, man, it's there is a worst case scenario, and the fact that it's like possible now sucks.
I think when it comes to Mass Effect specifically, they are so early in both the series that they're doing, the live action series that they're doing, as well as the video game itself, that they can, with this whole announcement and everything, they can completely shift gears for what they're doing. It's not completely far-fetched of an idea that they would be sold to another company or to another corpo. Like, excuse me, I've been playing Cyberpunk, so I keep saying corpo. But it's very much a, yeah, we can roll with that, the possibility that, I don't know, WB or another company can actually shift gears with it. But at the same time, it's like, can we believe in the best case scenario there that DA, that let's go even older, Command and Conquer and these other series that have been in cold storage at EA for so many years will get sold to companies that will actually treat it with the same dignity that back when we played these games in the original trilogy and all that, that they'll do right by the series and the fandom that clearly still exists. So that's a question for me, and that I would like for, or like a question for the devs, rather, not only the devs but who all the showrunners and all that who are working on the live series. Like, will you do right by the franchise that has like all of us that have been avid fans for years, or are you just gonna look for another buck?
Yeah, and I think, but at the same time, like, because of the Amazon and EA/Bioware deal, they wouldn't even be able to sell, right? I mean, I assume those contracts are like so set in stone that it's not like Amazon could be like, oh, you guys sold Mass Effect to, you know, another company, and like, wouldn't they have to essentially like rework all of those contracts and kind of like, I just don't see that happening, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think that Mass Effect 5 will come out under EA. Will it do well? Will BioWare remain open? Will EA invest in it after its release? Will the show be good? Who knows? I don't see any, like, in the future, I just don't see BioWare leaving EA, unfortunately.
I think, well, as far as the live series is concerned, it was in development hell for ages under Legendary. So it could happen again technically, but since they're in pre-production, like, there's a chance that it can still go. But I think it's kind of weird because as far as DA and the other titles that are under BioWare, I think it's just kind of like, yeah, they could sell some of it, But it's a weird, like, would they ever really get rid of Mass Effect whenever it has a pre-existing fan base? They already have all of these different games. They just renewed the trademarks and all of that because they are not the trademarks, but like they had the legendary edition, so they renewed it for another 30 to 50 years or what have you. So it's still within the public sphere that no, they don't have to get rid of bioware, but they can definitely downsize it even further. But I would hope and wish that they could at least get an exit the same way that Sworder did.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
God, I grats on them being able to leave. At least
Yeah,
there's Star
they
Wars
saw
on
the
that.
sinking ship and planned ahead, and honestly, good for them. Like, I'm glad that they landed somewhere good. I think as far as BioWare, as far as like downsizing, they're already between like 60 and 80 employees is what I've heard. And they've basically been absorbed into EA anyways. Like, BioWare Edmonton is just like EA Edmonton now. So the downsizing, I mean, it's already begun.
But by downsizing, sorry, I misspoke earlier. By downsizing, I mean the capacity in which they're using Gen AI and other things in order to
Oh,
lessen how
yeah.
much they're spending. That's what I meant by downsizing. It's more of a why would we hire artists and all that whenever we can just pivot to using the cheapest methods possible.
Yeah, and Andrew Wilson has already spoken in support of that he wants that, like, AI to be the future, and they're going to use AI to cut cost and all of this shit.
The grift still grifts.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm laughing through tears, by the way.
I know,
I don't
right?
mean it.
Support Crow, thank you for the $5. And Support Crow says, Corpro is an acceptable language nowadays. Happy to see you two chatting live.
Yay.
Yes, down with the corpos. But
hell yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think everything for BioWare right now is just like it's not good. And I think we're also kind of at a situation where we won't see what this actually means, because like the deal isn't supposed to be finalized for about 10 months from now. So I don't think we'll start really seeing what this means for EA, BioWare, The Sims, Mass Effect until a while after that. But the future is uncertain.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of speculation going forward, and especially for people who are going to look at EA and be like, okay, how are we going to handle this as far as, I mean, they put a pause to like all of their licensing stuff and all that. And even with Sims not too long ago, they were like, we're going to pause all of our work on like releasing more expansions and stuff. And it's just like, okay, how is gaming or any of the games that are under EA's belt going to be from now until the acquisition's actually finalized? And it's, for me, it's like, okay, this is a very hold your breath the entire way forward kind of thing. Like, if I were an employee, I would already be looking for a job. And that's not to like doomer it, but it's like a look at your RSUs, make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. But also, like, the video game industry in general is very shaky at best.
Yeah, it's
so
fucked.
yeah, so it's like, if I were an employee, holy shit, I would be looking at all situations right now. And
Yeah, same.
yeah, I feel for them, I really do. And it's really like, who knows what's gonna happen
Yeah,
with them.
who knows? And on that depressing note, that is pretty much everything that there is to know right now about this new buyout, I guess, leverage deal, whatever it is.
LBOs.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Now let's talk to something not as depressing, but it could also be depressing. Let's talk about the show. And Thunderhawk, thank you for the $4.99 or $5. And Thunderhawk says, what character is going to be in the show? Will it be Ashley and Joker? You know, I think Seth Green would have been such a cool person to bring in for a live action, but that would have had to have happened so long ago because I think he's pretty... How old is he?
Not sure.
He is... Okay, I don't know what this is.
Totally looking at now. Gosh, I remember whenever Seth Green was on Buffy, like way back when. He's been at it for years.
We're boomers now.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is 51.
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh, Keith David Anderson is like 71.
Is he now? Oh my gosh.
He's 69.
Nice.
Sorry. I was about to be like, haha, you get it. Yeah,
I'm 12.
Keith David is 69. All the chat saying nice. Oh,
friends
perfect.
here, only friends here.
Oh my god. Yeah, so he's 69. I mean Captain Anderson, I think he's supposed to be like in his 50s. I don't care. Put him in. I don't give a shit. Put the entire original cast in the show. I mean, they don't have to even play main characters. Just like give them cameos.
Get them involved. They deserve it.
Yeah, and I said that on my very first. Okay, I didn't mean anything by it, Patty Pop. I just mean they're older for their characters, because Anderson's supposed to be I'm pretty sure like 50s, and Joker I think is supposed to probably be in his like late 20s, early 30s. So I don't think they could play their characters anymore. But I don't care. Put them in the show. Give them cameos. Put them at a table and just have them talk for 5 hours. I'll watch it. I don't care.
Put them up as a narrator. Like, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I would love FemShep as a narrator. My God, I would kill for that.
That would be so cool. That would be awesome. Or even just like, you know, we don't know when the show takes place or anything like that, but even just having like a voice line of someone on the comms, like, this is Normandy and it's like Joker, or this is the Alliance and it's Keith David. People would go absolutely apeshit. I mean, people went crazy in the Halo show, it said Commander Shepard. And I remember how like excited people were, even though that show was like poo-poo caca. People were still excited for Commander Shepard in a show not even about Commander Shepard.
We are simple people. We hear Commander Shepard and then we freak.
Yes, exactly. Also, let me pull up the leaks. Hold on. I actually subscribed to the Patreon because I was like, I need to see this for myself. So let me pull it up. So for those who don't know, there is a Mass Effect live action adaptation of something Mass Effect, we don't know what, but there has been some placeholders that have given a little summary of the games, the original trilogy, but I've been told those are just like placeholders and they don't really mean anything. So I wouldn't take those seriously. As far as the actual, where is it? Hold on. I have to look through my I have like 6,000 screenshots and I don't remember where it is.
I'm like readjusting my volume so it doesn't goof on Discord, and also staring at Doug Jones because
I love him. He's such a good actor. I absolutely love Shape of Water.
Yeah, a freaking Thane looking at
Literally, that's literally Thane. Yes.
Yes, that is my favorite and best Hear Me Out. Actually, does he even count as a Hear Me Out? It's rather tame. when you think about it.
Conventionally attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Not Doug Jones. I'm talking about his actor in Shape of Water, or I mean his character rather.
Yeah. I'm gonna put up chat so they can see. Okay, so there was a leak. There was a leak on September 14th that they are casting 5 roles for the live action. We have the lead male between the ages of 30 and 39, and they have an open ethnicity, and the post says think a young Colin Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the female co-lead between the ages of 34 and 39. It's okay, and then it also reiterates mid-late 30s, and then it says alien and will require makeup and prosthetics. Many are speculating this is like an Asari.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then we have another lead female between the ages of 30 and 49. And it says human female providing a parallel narrative from Earth. And this is only a 1-year deal. And I do have a video about this that I posted after this came out if you want to see that as well. But and then we have 2 more roles. There is the male villain between the ages of 40 and 60, and their description says needs to be a creature / character actor like Doug Jones. So Doug Jones is, if you're not familiar with, he's this very interesting looking person. I think he's really pretty. Like, I would love to draw his face. But he's been in like Hellboy, Star Trek, Fantastic Four, Shape of Water. Let me see if I can pull up his roles.
Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth,
So many.
Crimson
things.
Peak. Yeah, several things. A lot of creatures, characters. Best known for working with Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, he's done a lot. He's a contortionist?
That kind of makes sense. I wonder if he has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm actually going to Google it because I'm nosy, but also because of his facial features, and I mean, maybe not, but I'm going to Google it. So yeah, he has okay, no. Ignore me, pretend I didn't do that. Anyways, he looks like he could be like a Drell or, I mean, anything. Like, he is totally able to disappear in his roles. It's really crazy. And so that casting is looking for someone like him, and it's a male villain. And yeah, some people were saying that this could be Saren. I don't think so. But yeah.
For me, it's like, what do they have to work with other than the Mass Effect, the original trilogy, right? Because you can go with that. You can go with the First Contact War. You can go with the Genophage era, like, and everything that happened with that. There's a lot that they can work with, but the question is, like, okay, where are they going to work with as far as these characters that they are casting for actively, right? And creature character tends to be, okay, who are we gonna blame? Who are we gonna blame? Are we gonna blame the Solarians? Are we gonna blame actually, now I think about it, yeah, First Contact War would make most sense with Turians.
But I feel like, oh, and there's one more role too. There's another male lead between the ages of 30 and 49. It says fighter soldier type and needs a wrestler type physicality. And I think people were
James Vega.
Yeah, I was thinking a human, but I think a lot of people were maybe thinking like a Krogan or a Turian. But I think to me that just sounds like a really buff dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Who was it that they were trying to that people were speculating would make a great fit? You Can't See Me. Shoot, I forget his name.
John
Do you know which
Cena?
actor I'm talking about? There we go.
I'd prefer like Dave Bautista or something. I don't really like. I know this is like a spicy take, but I don't really care for John Cena. Sorry.
I feel like he's been in too many roles that
Yeah,
it's diluted at this point.
yeah. I'm good, and I don't want Henry Cavill either. Especially like as a Witcher fan, I'm so annoyed at how that show is handled. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, I would really like some new actors. Like, I think that a show like this, if they could do something new, like bring in new people that aren't affiliated with anything and brand them to Mass Effect. Like, have their characters appear in the next game, I mean, depending on the timeline. You know, something like that. Like, I think what they did kind of... I mean, James Vega is a bit of a like, I know he's not like super beloved or anything, but he did have his own movie that came out before, and it was really good. Like, I thought it was, I mean, it's not amazing.
The anime?
Yeah, it was ugly, and like, it wasn't, you know, amazing, but I think it added a lot to his character, and I thought it was, I just thought it was a cool thing to do for the lead up of Mass Effect 3. Something like that, I think I would prefer for a show. What kind of show would you like to see?
For me, okay. I do like the idea. Well, actually, I'm gonna double back real quick before we move away from that. The James Vega whole idea, I actually really like it a lot, and I know a lot of people didn't like him, but I like the fact that he was an introductory role for a lot of people who never played Mass Effect, and that was his main role, right? Like, he was supposed to be the goof that is like, everyone else is a friend, and I'm just kind of standing here, right? So I liked his whole thing because it was a lot easier to get into Mass Effect for a lot of people. Because Mass Effect, honestly, is a little bit daunting if you're jumping in head first. But as far as like the series is concerned, I'm looking for something weird, and I don't think I'm gonna get that out of this. Mainly because like right now in Hollywood, everything's very much, if you're not going vertical form, you're doing a lot of very book adjacent kind of content, and most of that is getting actually pushed through, unless it's like completely weird. And I'm hoping for the best, and I'm really glad that most of them are like, these are characters that are in their 30s and older. That's great.
I love that. Yeah.
I just wonder how that's going to take, because it's great for older fans like us. And for me, I've been watching certain series like Foundation and all that, which are very heavy on like, you know, a more mature audience, people who have read the books and are actually like invested in the series. So I'm down for that. But also I'm like, what is Mass Effect going through the live series? What are they going to push that is something different, or at least interesting to the current general public that is out there right now? I'm really curious about that.
I think that's a good question. I will say that, like, because I love Foundation.
Yeah.
But I do think that maybe by it having kind of that older fan base, that there isn't like, I don't come online and see anybody talk about it. I never see fan art. I never see like an engagement of a community.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Mass Effect has that. So it is going to be really interesting to see what the show kind of like, who they are making the show for. Are they making it for fans like us who, you know, who plays everything and, you know, has read everything, whatever? Or is it going to be like a new introduction? And if it is a new introduction, would that introduction be to the original trilogy, or would it be to Mass Effect 5?
That's true. If they wanted to bridge it that way, of course.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting. Like, I think with the First Contact War, you have the very beginning of the Mass Effect story, of the very beginning of the Mass Effect world. But then if you have the game coming out, because these will release near each other, the show and the game. And then if you have the show, which is supposedly set 600 years in the future after Mass Effect 3, how do you connect, like, do you know what I mean? Like, how do you connect those stories where it makes sense for people to want to jump in? Like, at the end of the day, it's all marketing.
Yeah. What will make me like this series so much that I am willing to buy merch? That I'm willing to play the video games, buy all the Figma, go to Comic-Con and get signatures from all of these actors or the devs or the showrunners, etc. Like, those are the general questions for like most of the marketing when it comes to these things. But it's like, you can tell, because based off how it was pre-positioned before, whenever it was under Legendary, they wanted this to be another Marvel, right? They wanted this to be a series that people can latch onto for, like, you know, an evergreen kind of like thing. But at the same time, we are oversaturated with Marvel, DC, and all that. So what is this going to feed us compared to all the other stuff that is already out? Yes, there's a pre-existing fandom, and we love Mass Effect, we do. But how are you going to make this any more different than what is already out there?
Yeah, no, I agree. And how do they like build longevity? Yeah, the show is going to be very interesting, because if they do try to cater to the original trilogy fans, which I think, I don't know if people are familiar of, Michael Tucker was hired to BioWare, I think back in 2022, and he started off as like a screenplay writer, and he had a bunch of videos on YouTube, lessons of the screenplay, and he made a video about how Mass Effect could essentially be the next Game of Thrones. Like, and his video, he kind of goes through, oh, you know, I can just pull it up. So he kind of goes through, also pretend I spelled all of that right. What is this website?
You know, I've been so confused by that picture because I have it zoomed out. So I'm like, what am I looking at?
Oh.
That red carpet picture? What is going on? No, you're good. Someone in the chat was like, Pedro Pascal is too distracting.
Oh my gosh, my bad. But yeah, so he made this whole video about how basically if Mass Effect was given the room to be big enough, it could be the next Game of Thrones as far as like scale and popularity and depth of the story. And I thought the video was well done, but I also disagree. I don't think that, because the reason why he says it is, he says that this is, or he frames it as it being the story of the original trilogy. So that's Michael Tucker. He's got like, I think he has some really good takes. Like I definitely agree with him on a lot of stuff, but I think that Mass Effect needs to be its own thing, you know? And telling the story of Shepard on the big screen, I don't know. There's just so much room for problems.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what his video is about, and he was hired after he made this. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, he is a narrative director on... It says narrative director for BioWare. He's working on Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. And he was hired full time. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to see Shepard, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. What kind of problems do you mean? Like, I'm curious as like,
well,
what do you mean?
Number one, the first glaring problem is that Jennifer Hale and Mark Meer are Commander Shepard to me, and no one else will ever like be able to replicate that or like imitate that or replace that. And I think there's something really unique about everybody being able to create our own Shepard, that we make our own choices, choose our own romance, choose how they die. You know, we choose what they look like, we choose their voice. And already I think that in itself is enough reason to not make a story that is so personal to people who, I mean, Mass Effect has been around since 2007. It's like a deeply personal series. Like everybody, you know, has their own Shepard, and yeah, everybody's Shepards are also very similar. Like there's not a major deviation or anything like that, but I don't know. I just think it's so, it's just such a unique personal experience that you're never going to be able to replicate what the show did. I mean, what the game did. And like we just watched The Last of Us try to do that, and I think they failed miserably. That's probably like, you know, up for everybody's, whether you like the show or not. I thought the show was really bad. Well, season 2 anyways. And I don't want to see Shepard mischaracterized and butchered, I guess.
That's valid.
I mean, what do you feel about that?
I mean, for me, I think they could, if they were to actually not do Shepard in this series, that would be a really good idea for them, because as you said, a lot of people feel very passionate about their Shepards, but also it would be very weird for a lot of newcomers if they had pre-existing ideas of what Shepard was when watching the series, and then they were like, okay, I'll try the game, and then it's like, oh, this is a completely different setup for who Shepard is. I can play as either male or female Shepard, and etc. Like it for me, it's like having a separate identity be approached and like have a completely fleshed out story for the live action is more preferable, rather than just shoehorning Shepard right back in again. I would like a new story, and the way that they set this up, it just seems like they're redoing what they did with James Vega, which is they make him the lead. They make him, and not necessarily James Vega specifically, but like they're just making a new character that is very similar, has the same parallels to a guy is able to do things that help the world with his alien counterpart, and it works against some evil alien race guy that is very spooky. I don't know. It's fine to do kind of like, not exactly tropey, but like rehashing the same format that they did with the anime, because honestly, not many people watch the anime in comparison to the game. But like I said earlier, they got to make it interesting in a way that, okay, I will dedicate 8 hours of my time in order to actually engage in this series.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I think just kind of reading chat here, like it seems like majority of people don't want to see their Shepards, you know, on screen, or a Shepard. And, you know, I saw Aiden say, "Don't Geralt my Shepard." And, you know,
Real?
I really love The Witcher. I just became a fan this year, so I'm like a newer fan. But I did go back and watch the show, and it's so interesting how these producers and writers have so much source material. They have so much to pull from, and yet they continuously take what exists but think that they can make a better version of it. And that, I think, is a really, like, I think that's something that I really struggle with when it comes to all of these adaptations, is it's like, why would you take something that is already so beloved as it is, and then think that you can do something better with it? Like, if you want to do something new, just make something new. That's my frustration with a lot of these adaptations. I don't know.
No, I agree. It's the whole, oh, they want to go the safe route, which is rehashing and making it, quote, better, but at the same time they go the boring route, because what is this doing other than pissing off the book readers? Oh yeah, you're spurning content, you're making people be like, oh, I'm gonna check out the book, and because everyone's arguing about how this is a failed adaptation or whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's how you you stray away the fandoms from participating in a series. And it's so easy to do these days because there's so many different series. And it's like, at least give us something new to work with. Because I can easily switch somewhere else. That's my take, at least. Someone mentioned Halo, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh, God.
Halo. I grew up on Halo. I loved Halo.
Same.
But what is going on in the world of Halo these days, other than, you know what, the best adaptation I've seen yet is having Halo characters in Fortnite. That is the most I can handle. I don't know.
The Halo show is like, the Halo show is genuinely baffling because just on one very simple principle, they completely misunderstood, you know, the Master Chief, and they kept removing his helmet. It's like him wearing it all the time is like part of his character, and they were like, hey, let's show his ass. And listen, I like looking at ass too, okay? It's not like ass is bad. But
Ass is nice.
But why? There was just so many weird, and like the romance in that show, I also love romance. The romance in that show was ass. I don't know what they were thinking. It's like, it is the worst thing that they could have written regarding a character, because they should have just written a new sci-fi. It had nothing to do with the character that already existed. And I think that's what's so frustrating, and that's my biggest fear when it comes to like Commander Shepard, is they're gonna Halo, they're gonna Commander, I mean, now I've got them fucking mixed up. They're gonna Master Chief the way, like, that's what is gonna happen to Commander Shepard. So yeah, it's bad. It was terrible, and I watched all of it. Like, I wanted to genuinely give it a shot, and I was like, this is some poo-poo. Yeah. And again, it's like these like showrunners thinking that they can do better than the source material, they can do better than the media that already exists and is beloved, and I just don't understand that. And that's exactly what I don't want to happen to Mass Effect. Like, imagine Commander Shepard comes on and they say the dumbest shit you've ever heard, and we have to watch like Commander Shepard, whoever they choose, you know, apparently like maybe a young Colin Farrell. We have to watch this person who is not Jennifer Hale or Mark Meer, and we have to watch them not be the characters we don't know. So yeah, I don't know. It's a pass for me.
Yeah. I keep on saying, whenever I look at these ones, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Like, I have to force myself in order to be like, no, like, give it time to cook and we'll see how it goes. But it's like, in the current climate of the industry right now, when it comes to Hollywood and like any of the content that is being pushed out these days, it's like there's such an oversaturation that if you're going to push a story and it's just going to be the same reslop of so much stuff that we've seen as of late, then what are we doing other than trying to poke at nostalgia?
Yeah.
And there's so much new content that we can approach that it's like, why do we go towards this?
Yeah, no,
it's one thing
I
to call
agree.
it boring, but it's like it's worse than boring. It's just kind of like, it exists, and I don't know. It's
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I saw someone mention the Dragon Age show, and I have many opinions on that, but that's a whole different argument, because that's not only Dragon Age, but also in the same space that it was released, you also have the cyberpunk anime, which top 10 loved, adored. Jesus Christ,
Edgerunners is so good. For those who have not played Cyberpunk yet, like, what the fuck are you waiting for? Okay, it's on sale all the time. Also, thanks for coming in, Patty. Yeah, what Cyberpunk did with Edge Runners was the perfect tie-in where they made original characters with original stories that still connected, that connected through like Adam Smasher and stuff like that. And I'm not going to give like spoilers, but they took exact shots from the game and put them in the show, and there was so much connectivity that it felt genuine, and it was still its own story. And I mean, look how popular it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think
it hit. There was so much fan art. There were so many people who engaged with it, who played the game because of it, and they continued to reinstall the game so they could play the DLC that was added into the game. Like, they did so well with it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like the most perfect game on the planet, and obviously we still remember like how it first initially came out, but it's such a good series. My God, this goes into the whole rehashing like slop that I really don't like in Hollywood right now, because when you go to Asian markets and you go into like manhwa and other stories that don't exist over here, it's like we have so much material to work with and we still rehash the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I want more
definitely
cyberpunk.
agree.
I want more going towards the human condition and destroying our own emotions and our thoughts and feelings and questioning morality. And it's like, no, we're just gonna make a happy, colonialism story. No big deal.
Yeah, we need something new. Let me look at chat here. Kersey, yes, Edge Runners and Fallout should be the way to tackle game adaptations. And the team that worked on Fallout, like the production team, is the one working on Mass Effect. Obviously, they don't have say over like writing and stuff like that, but I'm hoping, some of that can carry over. But yeah. Also, Carlos, that's the thing. I would love to see Daddy Shepard live, but I know they will butcher the shit out of him with some cringy Marvel humor and nonsensical dialogue. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly a very rational fear. Yeah. So no, that is a fear. Okay, I have 3 shows that I will pitch to you, and tell me your thoughts. Okay, so my first show that I would love to see, and this doesn't have to be live action, but I think it would be funny if it was. This would never happen either, though, but I want a show that takes place on the Citadel, but is of the CSEC in, like, The Office, or, like, Reno 911, like, that cheesy type of humor. Like, imagine, like, finding, or they have to, like, go arrest some Volus who just took a bunch of red sand and is pretending to be some biotic god and like causing mayhem. Or there's like an escaped Varen, running around the Citadel, like, just like okay, in my latest video I did a bunch of lore about Mass Effect, and Roland Quarn from the Citadel DLC, he stole the New Year's ball and like took it from the Presidium and like left it with the CSEC officers, like just shenanigans for the sake of it. I would love to see, like, I think that Mass Effect just has room for that stupid humor. And yeah, a Turian looking into the camera, like, imagine, like, even like Bailey just like sitting there. Like, Bailey is someone who I wouldn't mind casting, but yeah, I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, no, someone mentioned it. Exactly what I was thinking of while you were mentioning all of this. Citadel Lower Decks. Let's try this. Is so correct. I want that, because I was just thinking in my head that kind of animation style, but like absolutely Office like Reno. And it's very possible too, because I mean, we had Citadel DLC. That was quirky on its own, but it was great. It was so weird.
Good. Yeah,
but it was great.
The humor was on point for the. I just replayed it the other day, and that's why I was like, man, this humor with like, like, what if they're trying to chase somebody and there's like an L core in the way and they have to like wait for the L core to like slowly move, just stupid stuff. So I think that would be really cool. And my second show is something that takes place on like Omega, that is like an underground kind of like seedy space agent undercover spy type of thing. Like maybe they're going after like a red sand ring, or like the Batarian slave trade, or whatever. I think something like that would be I think something like that would also be cool. And these are settings where like they can tell enough about the world and still have their own story. I think that's why I'm interested in these.
I'm trying to remember, because you said that, and I was just thinking of the spy thriller, like the assassin story that came out. I can't remember his name, but he was one of the leads in what's the Jean Valjean one? Les Miserables. But a spy thriller that's based in Omega, just totally. Oh, that sounds so cool in my head. And I mean, like, we had the Archangel arc that worked pretty well whenever it was in Mass 2, and that could also be extrapolated into a series. I would absolutely watch that.
I think that would be really, like, if they could tell about Garrus's time, before he meets up with Shepard again. But if it was animated, I think that would be really cool, and they could get, his original voice actor. I wish that they would do animation for Mass Effect so that they could get some of those original actors back. I wish they would do that. Like, and I feel like it's such a missed.
There it is. Sorry, I was reading chat. I was like, yeah, Jackal with Eddie Redmayne. Yeah, that's exactly it. But in Omega. Sorry. I was like, yes, that's it.
I'm gonna Google it. But yeah,
totally
I think
worth
something
it.
like that would be really cool. Hold on, I'm looking up the show.
It's a very spy thriller kind of thing, but with the idea of it being set in Omega, and then you have these different it's just a melting pot of different stories that you can push onto there. And hell, just having not Afterlife. The club. Oh my god. I'm playing too much Cyberpunk that I just get.
Well, they're both called Afterlife.
Wait, yeah.
Oh god. They're both called Afterlife. Oh,
we can roll so many different stories from Mass Effect. It doesn't need to be some overarching military propping, like.
Yeah, it absolutely doesn't. Like,
hero.
Even something about like a story kind of similar to the Manswell expedition, which is the Manswell expedition are the first people that were set into space that were like supposed to go and colonize somewhere and settle another human colony, and all communications were like lost, and they were thought to be lost forever, but they had been discovered by Asari and had like built their own community, something where humans are out exploring space and stuff like that. Yeah, there's so much potential. There's so much potential.
A Blasto show. Elvin Barry mentions that.
Yes,
Kindle
a Blasto
this.
show would be amazing. a Blasto show pretending to do all of the things that Shepard did, because I mean Blasto was already doing that anyways. That would be so cool.
I would love that. There's so much that can be done that it's like, give me the weird stuff. Even if it's in like a vertical series, I don't even care at this point. Like, I can roll with that.
Okay, I gotta ask. I don't know what a vertical series is.
Sorry.
You said it earlier, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but she knows what she's talking about.
It's a very common thing on TikTok that is being funneled nowadays, which is basically think really short TV series, but on TikTok and other vertical mediums, right? Like shorts, Instagram reels or whatever, where it's only like a minute or two of story, but it's action-packed enough. Some of it is like very sloppy, kind of like drama as the world turns kind of stuff, or like drama kind of thing. I don't know if you ever saw the actually no, it's just basically it's something that got super popularized in China and in Korea and just basically like in Asia, that is now being carried over here. There's a lot of funding that's being shoveled into certain parts of Hollywood to push this kind of stories, because nowadays no one wants to sit through okay, not nowadays, not no one, but a lot of people like their content on TikTok. They like their content on, you know, their phones. So it's like, okay, why not make these stories into vertical form versus having to pay like millions of dollars in order to make these series that will flop. So that's vertical.
I can't tell if that's the most dystopian, like attention span lacking Gen Z thing I've ever heard. Or maybe it's millennials. I don't know. But that
it's everywhere. Actually, honestly, it also works with elder content as well. Like it's really popular amongst them too. Because it's like a chismes kind of like gossipy kind of thing. Sometimes it's like soap opera dramas. Like that version does really, really well with older demographics. It's kind of crazy.
That's interesting.
But it works.
I don't know if I hate that or not. Some
of them are really good, but most not so much.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this Mass Effect show. Who knows? It could be bad, it could be good, you know, it could be shit. But unfortunately, we're not going to find out for like 3 years. They're not even supposed to start filming until I think like the end of 2026, if that is true. So yeah. Also, Legendary Yobi, thank you for the $20. And Legendary Yobi says, I would love for them to have seasons focused on races we haven't seen in the series, and it can build all the way up to the first contact war that can introduce the humans, live action or animation. See, I think that would be cool, but I think that anything that we get live action for Mass Effect is going to be very human centric because of cost, and aliens are very expensive to CGI. Like, you have to think, not only do they have to CGI the faces, but like Turians have the widest hip gap I've ever seen. So yeah, I wish that I could expect the Mass Effect show to be more alien focused, but I really do expect it to be more like human discovery or like the Alliance Navy, something human centric. Body tea.
You said the gap, and I was like, oh my god, not the thigh gap for Turian. Stop.
Literally, they have the massive thigh gap. Like, you could fit another person in between there. It's so wide. And they would have to CGI that. And, like, the hips, they have, like, those crazy hips. Like, or even, like, Krogan. I mean, they're all shaped, you know, very alien.
The quintessential will bang okay. Yeah.
Exactly. The reach and flexibility would have to be CGI'd in, you know? And that's money. So
no money, no funny bunny, honey.
Yeah, that's why I'm just expecting it to be about people.
A human story. Ugh.
Yeah, that's exactly what everybody wants in Mass Effect, right?
Right. I mean, what was it? The expectation right now is each episode is like 15 to 20 mil, right? Which is on par
Crazy.
with what's it called? With what Fallout had. So it's like, okay, we can see it happen, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's probably gonna be more human.
Yeah, it's so expensive. And, you know, honestly, like, obviously this acquisition thing isn't for another year or so, but even with the state of Mass Effect as it is currently in, I doubt they've been given like a huge budget for this show. Like, I feel like even on the terms, like on the scale of Amazon, it's probably like less than maybe some other shows like Lord of the Rings. So yeah, imagine a Turian CGI. I'm sorry, but I think that is gonna look so weird.
It's where I'm like, okay, I can go with animation. That would be probably fun. But for the scale that they're looking for, which is basically Marvelization of Mass Effect, like, ain't no shot.
Right?
They're not gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't
I
know.
I wish for the best, but at the same time, I am super cautious. It's
I
safer
think,
right now. Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm just of the, like, I just expect it to be shit. So, like, anything is up from there, right?
Yeah. Fallout keeps my optimism there because although that's different showrunners and whatnot, I feel like if Amazon wants to keep pushing the whole video game adaptation thing, making the Mass Effect series would also do really well going forward. Whether
Oh,
or not
that's
it
true.
happens,
That's true.
yeah, because I think Cyberpunk did a really good job with Edgerunners, and then you have Fallout, which did really well. I love Fallout. I mean, like the live action that was really good. Here in LA, they have the horror Hollywood Horror Nights right now with the Fallout series involved, and like that's insane because now more people are involved with Fallout and actually playing the games and stuff. That's sick. I'm okay with that. Yeah, like fish in the comments. The writing is everything. I'm really
Yeah.
curious what they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say that Daniel Casey wrote for Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, Fast 9.
Yeah, which I actually like grew up street racing, and I used to love the Fast and Furious movies. And
Girl, huh?
Oh my gosh, every time I talk about this in a stream, everybody's like, "What?" Yeah, I used to live in Tucson, and I was really big into street racing. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. So I was like, I loved the Fast and Furious movies, and then they just turned into like generic action flicks, and I stopped watching them.
Too much about family.
Yeah. No, I don't. I miss when they were more about. I mean, they've always been about family, but they used to be about cars instead of like airplanes and submarines and stupid shit. So yeah.
Losing the plot repeatedly over the years.
Literally lost the plot. Yeah. So Daniel Casey has really said everything right in his interviews about his experience with Mass Effect, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity in order to make it good. It's just a question of how are they going to move it forward. I mean, we all compare to other different things. Like the video game space is very small when it comes to live action and Hollywood and all that. So it's very okay. I hope they're able to make it make sense, especially since, well, we talked about the EA stuff earlier. Who knows the actual future going forward? But if it still keeps going, then hey, I still like Mass.
Yeah, and I think that Urza says, also thank you for the $5. Urza says, what do you think the state of Mass Effect 5 will look like if the show flops? P.S. I got to go to The Witcher in concert recently. Really cool. I'm actually going in a few weeks. I'm really excited.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm playing Witcher 1 right now. And I'm trying to replay them before I go. We'll see. I don't think I can make it through, but I'm trying. Yeah, I'm really excited for Witcher in concert. I wish Mass Effect would do one, and I wish Cyberpunk would do one. I wish they would do in concerts for those. But okay, sorry. I think that I don't think that the show is dependent, or the game is dependent on the show. I think that Mass Effect 5 will either be the start of a new future for Mass Effect, or it will mean the complete closure of BioWare forever. Especially with this new, like, you know, them having to be really careful about their finances and investments and this $20 billion debt. So, yeah, but I don't think that they're really connected. I guess we'll see.
How can we monetize Mass Effect 5? That's like the main question that is just gonna like keep on popping up, because it's like we're not gonna see something like the original trilogy where the story is the forefront of the actual game. And if that maintains, cool, but considering the the longevity of EA, I don't trust it to not have microtransactions going forward. I have a feeling we're going to see multiplayer, personally, come back, because honestly, Mass 3's multiplayer was actually really, really
everybody
fun.
says it's so good, but like when the team has like maybe 70 people and they're trying to create the next AAA game that's been in pre-production for 5 years, I don't give a fuck about multiplayer. Finish my single player experience, pretty please.
Yeah.
Like I know that multiplayer in Mass Effect 3 was like really popular and people still play it. But like let that come later. I don't know. It just feels like something that they could, you know, do as like a DLC. I don't know, man. It's bleak. I hate multiplayer, but then I say that and I have like, I don't know, I have a couple thousand hours in Final Fantasy 14 and Overwatch. So maybe I'm a hypocrite.
Oh no, I totally feel that. I mean, the amount of money that I spent in Overwatch for loot boxes, even gacha games in general, like I'm definitely a hypocrite, because it's like, oh, why would I spend $20 on a skin in Fortnite? But 20, 10, I forget. But at the same time, it's like, for me, I value multiplayer because of the interactions with my friends and being able to play it with them and enjoy games. So if it makes sense, it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, if you have a pre-existing history of creating really amazing narrative storytelling and then you shove in a multiplayer and focus on that instead, like, okay, all right, Call of Duty-ification of everything, that's great.
Isn't it so depressing, like all these loot boxes and battle passes for single player games? What are we doing?
Making money, clearly.
Oh
not
God.
us, them, but you know.
And I think it's just gonna get worse for EA, like the microtransactions. I'm just expecting it to be, it's already bad, and now it's just gonna get worse. Yeah. Also, yeah, Afonso, I pulled Ash out of retirement to come and talk to me about Mass Effect.
And I appreciate you dearly. Thank you. I honestly, I do like talking about it. I mean, like, ever since Veilguard came out, I was definitely in like a grieving process for a very long time. So it just kind of like stayed out of things. Because anything I was said freshly out of Veilguard would have been just me spiraling out of control and saying things that I would probably regret today, considering how vividly angry I was back then. But you know, hey, I'm really glad to be here with you today and to chill with everybody. So,
well, thank you for being here. I did actually ask Katie if she wanted to come lament with us too, but she was busy.
No,
I know. I tried.
Katie. Okay, no, the three of us have to do something in the future. I would love that.
Yeah, that maybe for Dragon Age Day when BioWare forgets that it exists.
Can't wait.
Oh God.
No, but we own it now, right? That's how we're rolling this.
You know, I think that's a nice sentiment, but it does nothing for me. Like I totally get it. It doesn't make me feel any better.
I'm not denouncing it. I think it's a really good sentiment. Like it's very much a like we need this and this is ours and we made it ours, right? Throughout the years,
Yeah.
because DA is our baby. But at the same time, it's like what a hell of a thing to put on the community. Like
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, like I know how it went down, but at the same time, I'm still lamenting how it happened, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Legendary Yobi, thank you for the $5. And Legendary Yobi says, if Bioware does close in the future, which studio would you trust with the Mass Effect IP? My main candidates are Obsidian, CDPR. What's your pick? You know, I think CDPR is, and maybe this is a hot take, I think CDPR they have some of the best cinematics, like, and facial animations and like character expressions and dialogue that I've seen. And when I think Mass Effect, I think characters. So I don't want another studio to like have to save BioWare, or save Mass Effect. But I think CDPR I would trust with the level of quality that I expect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think there's other studios that like I could expect that caliber of cinematics. Does that, like, am I being unfair?
No, I think it makes sense. For me, I think they nail cinematics. They definitely do. And they're very good cinematographers. I had a very brief chance to meet a couple of them at GDC a couple of years back. And those guys are wild. They're great. So I trust that the future of Cyberpunk will do really well. And the way that they handle games going forward is going to be great. Do I think they would do well making a Mass Effect or a DA? I want them to stick with Witcher and Cyberpunk. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
I think that's where they shine because it's their babies, it's their stories, and they know how to make them good.
And that's how I feel about Larian too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I want them to be able to tell the stories that they want to. Like, if they want to tell a Mass Effect story, fine, but I think it's like BioWare should be the ones to make Mass Effect if they and EA can get their shit together. And yeah, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were made by BioWare. Quite ironic, yes.
A very different time for sure.
I know, right? That was I mean, I wasn't a fan then, but yes, I know those are from BioWare's earlier golden years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bussy Chan.
Bussy?
You should play Cyberpunk. Honestly, and I don't think I'll ever say this on Twitter because I don't want to like make the Cyberpunk devs feel bad because a few of them follow me, but when Cyberpunk came out, I remember being like, ugh, that looks like such like a surface level, like cool bro kind of game where like you just do cool shit and there's like not much depth to it. And I regret feeling that way. I'm glad I played it when I did, but Cyberpunk has one of the richest character stories, and like the companions and the emotional just depth of the story, it just surprised me. And I wish I wouldn't have written it off from like the very cool trailers and just like kind of being like, oh, that looks cool and that's probably all that it is. But no, there is so much to Cyberpunk. It's so good. Everybody should play it.
And honestly, I want to say it's required reading at this point, especially within the political climate that we are in. It's practically a seared telling of the future, and unfortunately it's become a blueprint in a lot of ways, and that is so sad to think about. But yeah, Cyberpunk is absolutely worth it, and definitely play it. But also, do everything that's the real take, because some of the side stories that they have are extremely impactful in a way that is like, oh god.
They're like main missions. Like
Yeah.
they're really fleshed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kersey, the marketing was kind of weird. Like it did like, and I wish I would have like done more of my own research and tried to like look more into it, but yeah, no, Cyberpunk is really good, and I actually love the endings. So yeah, I think that everybody should play Cyberpunk. It's very, if you're looking, I think I'm also kind of the mindset these days that I'm looking for other studios to get invested in, and like right now, Archetype Entertainment with Exodus, there's Alcat with the Expanse game, there's Cyberpunk with Cyberpunk 2. Oops, sorry, I just choked on my own spit. With Cyberpunk 2, like I'm trying to, and Witcher 4. Yeah, there's so many good games out there, and Cyberpunk is definitely one of those.
I think I want to add just another thing from my perspective. Look for developers that are not from America.
Yeah.
Because they take more risks, especially in storytelling, than we do. And because they have the, not permission, but they have the freedom to do so, because they are not constrained at the level we are when it comes to what narratives we can push. And I say this as someone who, I mean, yes, I play Cyberpunk, but I also play Love and Deep Space. I do a lot of like going, yeah, I'm everywhere when it comes to gaming, honestly. But there's so many different stories that are so well told when it's not under the scope of an American developer. And it's crazy how good of a story you can get whenever it's not someone who was born and raised in the type of capitalism that we have.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I actually I've been playing Chronos New Dawn. I'm trying to like play new games that I wouldn't usually play, and it's like a horror survival. I'm getting my ass fucking whooped. Like this game is beating the shit out of me. But I love the story, and I want to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm really bad at it. But also, yes, Expedition 33, one of the best video games I have ever played. The music, I listen to that music probably on a daily basis, because I listen to video game soundtracks while I write and like draw and stuff. Expedition 33 is so good, and Sandfall Interactive is like a new studio that we should be looking forward to. There is all this room for all these new studios which are coming up because people want to make their own things. And yeah, dude, these studios out of France, these studios out of Poland are like kicking ass, and I hope they, I hope they continue.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, my dog is blind and deaf, and he lays in a bed right next to me, and he got up and started walking around the room, and then he got stuck in between I have like foot pedals under me, and he got stuck. But yeah, I think there is just like gaming as we know it right now is really changing. And I think BioWare is losing its position as like top dog of RPGs, and there's plenty of other contenders now.
And there's a lot of that. I mean, for me, BioWare, I have a lot of love for it, but it's definitely like, as time goes on, I don't see, and this is going to sound really harsh, but I'm just going to say it so I can get my point out. The relevancy of what topics BioWare approaches is losing flavor in the context of the insane political climate and just in general societal climate that we have right now. The absurd and the weird tends to triumph in these kind of ways, because it becomes a sick comfort. This is my perspective, because for us it's like, okay, what games are actually going to compel us in a way, and other than like the dopamine drivers, like if we were playing Fortnite or Roblox or any of the other ones, like it's obviously just meant to spur adrenaline. But for stories that are like narratively focused, we gravitate towards games like Cyberpunk and all that, because it does afflict us in a whole different direction that I feel Bioware did once, but has become tame over the years in a way that has been detrimental to its future. And I hope they're able to turn it around, but I just see a pervasive bro culture of narratives being pushed within the American side of game development that I just don't feel like I'm really interested in as a whole. Helldivers is a whole different thing. That's super broy, but it's satirical and hilarious. I can roll with that. That hits. But yeah.
I know we're talking about like I know we're talking about kind of like the American studio approach, but and maybe this is a hot take as well, but you know, I feel like for me, one of my very first video games that I ever remember, I was probably like, I don't know, 13 or something, and I was playing Final Fantasy X, and there's that scene, the wedding scene with Yuna, and I can remember the exact moment standing in front of my TV and being like, I want to work in video games. I want to do this, whatever this is. I didn't know what it was, and the Final Fantasy games, I feel like used to be very, I don't want to say feminine because it's not the right word, but I feel like the Final Fantasy games have become very bro-y, like, because you know, kind of what you were saying about the American studios. I feel like Final Fantasy has kind of also leaned that way with the Final Fantasy franchise, and it kind of sucks, but it also reminds me why I don't play those games anymore. I'm gonna play 16, but like I didn't play 15. And
15. Oh wait, hold on. I had to remember what 15 is. 15's the four guys, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was an amazing game, but it was very much under this feels like it was written in a feminine scope that I adored it so much. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That game hit me in such a way that fucking destroyed me emotionally. I love that game to death. And also it's one of those things where I actually pulled up AO3 in order to read more stories. Like,
oh my God.
I miss it ever so.
You know, a story hits hard when you got to go to the fanfic to get some more.
Right?
That's so funny.
Yeah. When a game or any just piece of media that makes you want to go, hey, I want to pull a fanfic, I want to go to AO3 or Wattpad and look at poorly, well-written, poorly grammatically written fucking, like, bro ships. Like, that's when you know you have gold.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I still don't think I will ever play it. I just think everything that I've seen about it, it just doesn't have any interest to me. It just feels like, and I'm sure there's more depth that you're saying that I would have to like play to get to. But even like Final Fantasy 16, like where are the female like characters? Where's the female, like I need romance, like I don't know, I just feel like there's so much media that I just don't connect with these days, and it's but I think I really felt that when I realized how much I didn't really just enjoy the later Final Fantasy games. Like I liked the story with Lightning, but I don't think that was like amazing.
Lightning didn't hit me as much as Yuna, or even
Yeah,
before then. Like
same.
Final Fantasy VIII, whenever it came to Rinoa and just that entire story, I like similar to what you had. Whenever at the wedding scene, I had the same exact like visceral feel whenever I played Final Fantasy VIII, and you're trapped in space. You Squall and Rinoa like are. Almost dying, and they're just having this huge like moment. I feel like Final Fantasy lost that whole we need to feel our feelings and the acceptance of death in a lot of ways, or the acceptance of innocence death. I don't know how to phrase that better. The death of innocence. Final Fantasy used to do that on a regular level that nowadays it's like, oh, where's my
Yeah,
empathy?
I do. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
Early Final Fantasies made me fall in love.
Yeah,
And
same.
that, like, I felt like I was actively being courted. I felt like, and that's what I also felt in Mass Effect and in Dragon Age especially. I felt like I was actively being courted, being, I was falling in love over and over again. And that's why those stories always hit.
Yeah, and there's just so few stories that hit. That's like, I really liked Baldur's Gate 3, but my favorite characters and my favorite romances, which are the Emperor and Minthara, didn't really get a ton of content, and so I just wasn't like. There's probably a reason for that. But
no, I fucked him too. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? Like,
Yeah.
I listen. I know he's bad. It's okay. I'm okay with it. But like, I really loved Baldur's Gate 3, but I think for me, the only things that I truly loved about it were the cinematics, the dialogue, the character interactions. But like, I didn't like a non-voice protagonist. I didn't like the isometric top-down exploration. I didn't like the combat. And not that every game has to cater to me, because it absolutely does not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for me that I feel like I haven't really felt that like emotional connection with a lot of games over the years. I think except for probably Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's that good. I really think everybody should play it. And yeah, I did see that. I know about Clive and Jill, and I did buy 16, and I will play it. But yeah, eventually. Right now I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy. Have you played that?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, I wanted to see what Mary DeMarle's like narrative lead writing was like. It's pretty good so far. I'm about 10 hours in.
Oh, I think you posted about it. Yeah,
it's pretty good. And everybody in the comments is like, this is so good. So I'm hoping it lives up to what everybody's saying. But so how are you? We probably have about 20 minutes here, but how are you kind of feeling about what we've seen about Mass Effect 5?
I have no expectations about us getting that anytime soon. I mean, not just because of the acquisition, but it's also like there's no need for it to come out. And because I feel like what they're going to do is they're going to reset the palette. They're going to use this live action in order to be like, hey, this is Mass Effect. They're going to basically restart the entire series in a way where, okay, we're looking towards the future, and here's what it's going to be. Whatever message they decide to push with that series, we'll see what they do with it. But for me, I don't. I'm not even cautiously optimistic now I think about it. It's more of like I don't want to get my expectations up. I think when it comes out, cool. But I think with Bioware in the current state that it is, and my warning since Veilguard came and went the way they did, I I just kind of like grieved and processed like, hey, um, when it comes out, cool, but um, I don't think it's going to be anything like what it used to be back when.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Mhm.
I think I kind of feel the same way. Are you expecting them to bring back Shepard?
In some capacity, I feel like they would. In my headcanon, I feel like they would actually approach a younger Shepherd. Like they'll mention it in like the most they'll mention a Shepherd in the most like generic way possible, just to kind of like, oh, if you want to find out about Shepherd, play the series. But I feel like they'll run with a new protagonist and then make references to a separate character.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting too. Like I think that the one video of that N7 walking is the new protagonist.
Mhm.
That's what I'm also hoping. I don't want to see Shepard back.
Yeah. I'm okay with references. Like that's cool. That makes sense. But I feel like if we're gonna move on, it kind of sucks to even consider having Shepard yet again. I mean, I know we can technically deal with the fact that Shepard's technically a clone, so we could clone Shepard as much as we want, but like, I really hope they don't roll with that story. It was added in Citadel for a reason.
Yeah,
So-
it's like a joke. Like we don't gotta redo that. It was a funny
Yeah.
haha.
Please don't make Shepard again, haha.
Have you seen the like kind of like multiverse theories?
Multiverse theories. Wait,
Yeah.
like, is there one or?
More that it's just like this is. Do you know who Paragon 7 is?
Mm-hmm.
I love her videos. I think they're really fun to listen to. I disagree with everything that she speculates about, and that's okay. We have totally different views. But she kind of has like a Mass Effect multiverse kind of theory. Like for the show, it will be both male and female Shepard as like the leads. For me, I don't see them doing that, but just like as a way to kind of bring back a multiverse Shepard, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like multiverse just adds a layer of complexity to a story that most people are just kind of like roll their eyes at. Mainly the same way that you like once you do time travel in a story, it's just kind of like, all right, anything can happen. It's not even a surprise anymore, which is why Marvel is kind of weird in a lot of ways nowadays. But to do it so early just seems a little bit weird to me. I'm okay with the idea of a multiverse, but I'm not really keen on having that from the get-go as far as Mass Effect is concerned.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. And then I watch everybody's Mass Effect videos. Also, Paragon 7 is in the chat, and I love that she's like, tell me what you really think. Listen, you know that we don't agree. I still watch all of your videos. I love listening to them. My brain don't work that way, okay? My brain is like too, I don't know, boring, I guess. I don't know. And then Mr. Holthen, he has, I think his last like 2 videos or something are about bringing like an AI Shep back, which like I think ultimately when it comes down to it, if you're not bringing back our exact Shepard, then why bother? That's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't know.
Let people, and this is my opinion, let people experience their own Shepard, present to the fandom at least another character that can frame up why you would be invested in Shepard in the first place.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, which is why I would rather prefer a new protagonist.
Same, yeah. But only time will tell, and 7 days in like what? I think it's in like 38 days, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be disappointed, even though last year Mike Gamble liked a tweet that said that this year's N7 Day was going to be like full steam ahead. And I don't believe him. So everybody just expect absolutely nothing, so we're all surprised when they give us nothing.
Come on, girl, give us nothing.
Literally, go Mass Effect, give us nothing.
Yeah.
Actually,
Are you gonna do a thing for N7 Day?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm kind of waiting to see if Gamble will be like, hey, look forward to N7 Day, or hey, it's gonna be another calm N7. I don't want to invest in it if they're not going to, because in 2023, Jay was behind all of that stuff. You know, Jay is the one who made that basically kind of like scavenger hunt, to put all the clues together, and Jay was behind that, and Jay is gone. And BioWare doesn't have a community manager the way that they used to now. They don't have like a dedicated one. There's like an EA one that kind of does stuff, but not really. They don't. What does BioWare need a community manager for right now? Also, are you okay? Did you just fall out of your chair?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
My chair decided to like sit back, and I was like, catch myself. We're good. We're good.
I was like, please tell me she didn't just die on stream.
Nah.
But Spawn Freak says, hot take, ME2 Shep is a Cerberus AI. How dare you say that? How dare you? But no, there is like, Cerberus could have done some more weird shit. They're kind of sketchy. Who knows?
They have the construct of Shepherd.
Yeah, they have their DNA.
God, I can't believe they made that a thing. Honestly, it's hilarious, and we can go whatever way we want, but man.
I always kill the clone.
Same.
Because I always kill him. and then sometimes I feel bad about it, because like imagining our Shepherd in that situation, but then I'm like, the game explicitly tells you that even a clone is not Shepherd. Like, that's not your Shepherd. So I think that's why I'm so opposed to the clone. Like, I'm not mad at anybody for having these theories, but I hate clone Shepherd, AI Shepherd, multiverse Shepherd, any Shepherd that just isn't the one that we had.
The one true Shepherd.
The one true Shepherd, yes. So
I'm okay with Shepherd, like alternative Shepherds only in AO3. That's all I'm okay with.
Yeah, and the artwork, all the artwork of the other Shepherds who don't look like mine. So, but I think we can probably, I feel like I've lamented enough about the state of the world that no, Paragon, no, you are not personally attacked. Listen, I love your theories. I just don't agree with them, and that's okay. What's your take of the old man telling his grandson a story at the end, the Lord Keeper? I mean, I think that would be the perfect setup for a story that takes place 100 years in the future, when Shepard has become the Shepherd. That's what I'm expecting Mass Effect 5 to be. But we'll see.
Can't wait until Varric gets reincarnated into the Mass Effect series and becomes the narrator.
Oh my god.
Technically, that is canon because he was in the thank you notes at the end of.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah, Andromeda. That is canon.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to us talk about the fucked up state of Mass Effect. Frankly, that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Ash.
Thank you
so much for joining. Yeah, we'll have to do this again next time when. Oh, sorry, John. Sorry. We've been streaming for 2 hours. Sorry. And Urza Scarlet says, how do you feel about Shepard as an NPC Anderson role? You know, I think they tried to do that with Dragon Age with Hawk, and it just, people were mad they couldn't control Hawk, that it was a different Hawk, that it wasn't their Hawk. Again, there's just so much mess. What do you think on that one, Ash?
It depends on the involvement. It can be done. I feel like it could be done. But the thing is that if you're not willing to do the permutations of like the versions of Shepard that can exist, then I don't know, man. Why approach it at all in the first place?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. One true Shepard.
One true Shepard, exactly. Our Shepard. All right, guys. I need to go eat. I'm starving, and my dog is walking around aimlessly. I think he's hungry too. Thank you all so much for joining. We will do it again. And I am planning something for N7 Day. Stay tuned. I don't know what exactly that'll be yet, but all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Again, thank you, Ash, so much for coming out of retirement and yapping with me for 2 hours.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
much.
everybody. See you guys later, whenever that is. I'll let you know next time, in probably for N7 Day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.